Okay, so mini disaster into my first few weeks of retirement. I just had an email from the pension people saying that the quote they sent me was incorrect. So all my financial planning, my whole future has been based on the original quote I got from the pension company. And I must admit, it's been a couple of weeks since I'd sort of submitted my claim for my pension and all of that with the company. And I hadn't kind of heard anything back, not even an acknowledgement letter really, or an email, which is kind of always a bit worrying. But I like to give people the benefit of the doubt and maybe give them a week or so to sort things out. And then Easter comes along and, anyway, the point is I was thinking this is the week I need to really follow up on a lot of this. Just, I try to be cool. I try not to panic, just like, let things take their time. I know people are busy, bureaucracy and all of that. Let's not just be one of those people that are just kind of constantly at people. Give them the time to do their job. Anyway, point is, I get an email, oddly enough, on Sunday, Easter Sunday, from the company pension. Easter Sunday. Who's working on an Easter Sunday? Anyway, thank you for that. Basically saying that they've now had confirmation from the company that I've kind of properly left and that I'm authorized to take my pension, blah, 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 all of this. And I was thinking, it's taken you, we're on the 21st today. It says it's taken you 3 weeks to get to this point. I left 3 weeks ago. That's worrying in itself. And the plan was that I would start claiming my pension from the 1st of May. So that is in like a week and a half. Less. And it's still not sorted. That's not the mini disaster though, ladies and gentlemen. No. So the mini disaster is, the quote they sent me was on the basis that I would be working until the point I claimed my pension, which is the 1st of May. So the quote they gave me was that, assumed I would still be working up until the 1st of May. And of course, I finished working at the end of March. So that's a whole month difference. So it shouldn't be radically different, fingers crossed, because we're just talking about 1 month of unpaid pension. But it's still a little bit worrying, A, that it's not fully sorted. B, they're only just coming to me now with a query about it. And C, they got it wrong. When I say they got it wrong, I mean, maybe I got it wrong. But the point is that we have an online pension system and you can go in and you can get a quote. So I was constantly getting quotes. What if I start my pension from the, 1st of April? I just wanted to know how much it's worth. So I did a quote, in March, whatever. But ultimately I settled on, right, I want to start taking my pension from the 1st of May. So I asked the system, how much is my pension worth from the 1st of May? Now, of course, what I didn't realize at the time is that it assumes that you're carrying on working up until the 1st of May. And of course, I was finishing at the end of March. So maybe it's on me that I didn't kind of factor in the fact that there is that 1 month. And it did actually play in my mind. I was thinking, well, do they know I'm leaving in this calculation or whatever? But there's no facility to do a what if cancellation, a what if scenario. If you are leaving in 1 month and you want to take your pension 2 months later, the only quotes and calculations they offer, or it seems to be, is, when do you want to start taking your pension? I.e., when do you want to start leaving work? So that the two dates are kind of mutually attached. They're attached to each other. There didn't seem to be a way of getting a quote where you're saying, no, I want to leave here, but I don't want to take my pension until here. So, yeah, now they've got to send me out a new pack. Why can't they just email it me? Got to send me out a new pack. I've got to fill out all the forms again. I've got to send it all back and then hope that all of that can be resolved and sorted so they can start the payments from the 1st of May. Now, look, I've still got a big lump sum from my redundancy and stuff. So, I should be covered for a little while, but that's not the point. And that's not what that money was for in my calculations. So, yeah, a little faux pas, a little snafu, as they say. But these things are sent to try us. And hey, I'm sure it'll all get sorted. But it's just a little bit annoying, isn't it? A little bit of unwanted anxiety and frustration. as I said, we're only talking like 1 month's salary's worth of pension contribution. So 1 month of pension contribution that's not factored in. So it shouldn't be radically different from what I've calculated. But until I get the quote pack, until I get the pack from them with this new calculation, I don't know for sure. The other thing is when I left, very quickly, soon after, which is great, and I've mentioned it in other videos, yeah, I got my redundancy payment, or a big fat lump sum wallop into my bank account. Yay! Which was great. But again, I've no idea what that lump sum, how that lump sum breaks down. And now, nearly 3 weeks later, I've still no idea how that lump sum breaks down and whether that's the totality. Does that include my long service leave? Does that include my additional holiday amount that's due to me, my additional leave money? Don't know. Probably. Could do. It's just a big fat lump sum. It's not broken down. So I'm thinking, well, okay, well, maybe I'll wait until payday, even though I'm no longer getting paid, but the payroll day, which is the middle of the month, so like the 15th of April, I'll wait until then to see whether there's any extra, because it did say in the leaving letter, kind of any extras, whatever, like additional leave or unpaid leave, will be paid out in the next payroll run, which would have been the 15th. So I wait for the 15th, nothing. So I just have to assume that everything was bundled into that lump sum. I mean, it would have been nice if I had a little extra, but hey, it was all within my calculations, and the lump sum that I got was comfortably in the realms of my calculations. So that's all fine. It's just a bit complicated to work out from a tax point of view, because there's elements of it which aren't taxed, elements which are, elements which are taxed at a higher level. So yeah, it's a bit difficult. So it would be nice, as I said all along, to have a breakdown. The other thing, of course, is I can't then go on to the payroll system. So we have a little online payroll app where you can go on and check your salary and your payroll. I'm thinking, oh, I'll go on there and see whether it's broken down in there. But of course, my access, because it's with my old work access, my work email access, that was all annihilated or cancelled as soon as I left. So I have no way of accessing my old payroll app because it was all related to my work email. So I can't access my payroll app to see whether there's a P45 in there or a breakdown. I'll come to the P45 issue. So the other thing is, okay, maybe it'll all be broken down on my P45. So your P45 in the UK, if you don't know, if you're in the UK, you know, but a P45 is the tax document that you get from your company to say, you've left the company and this is what tax you paid when you worked at the company and all of that, so that you've got it for the, if the tax office needs it or anything like that. But also you need it for a new firm. You go to the new firm, you can say, yeah, I've got my P45 from the other company. I've officially left that company. Here's my P45 to prove it, all of that. So it's a sort of a tax document, a final summary of the tax you've paid in the last kind of financial year working for that company. And that would include, hopefully, a final breakdown of what that final lump sum would be. I've not had that yet. And again, as I said, I've left the company 3 weeks ago. How difficult is it to, A, email me? They've got my private email, B, even send it to me by snail mail. I mean, I know nowadays nobody uses the post, or if they do, they're like very old fashioned. I must admit, one of my pension quotes came in the post, and I'm thinking, you've got an online system, just send it into the online, via the online system. Yeah. I know some people are old and can't work computers. Come on, really? Everybody can work a computer now. Trust me. My old man can't. He's 95. Yeah, but he hasn't just finished work, has he? But you know what I mean? It's like, come on, guys. We live in the 21st century. I just want a bit of response, a bit of a prompt response. I'm not going to hassle you. I know people are busy, but like, I've given you the benefit of doubt. I've given you the benefit of time. 2 weeks, okay, Easter, let that roll by. But still, yeah. So there you go. That's been my fun week. I mean, hopefully the quote will come through and it'll be fine. I'll fill out the forms, send them back. But as I said, it's just all unnecessary. Just, not knowing whether that's all the final amount. If it is, it's fine. As I said, it's slightly more than I calculated. So yay, I should be happy. But equally, my financial advisor worked out a figure that was higher. So either he's completely wrong or I'm just under, But it would just be nice to know, here was your redundancy. This was the tax. This was the additional leave, your long service award, all of that just neatly broken down. That would just be nice, just so I can see. And then you just know. It's the not knowing that kind of gets you, that's annoying. I like to know, especially as, I'm coming to the end of my first month, as it were, although it's been a complicated month because lots of large amounts of money have gone off to pay debts and loans and credit cards or whatever, and that's all cleared. So there's been a lot of outgoings this month, but I'm beginning to start monitoring my actual spend. I've sort of forecasted a budget, but it's not until you start living your life that you actually realize how accurate that forecast is. And there's loads of things that I've realized I hadn't factored in. I mean, the amount of times my kids have hit me up for like, oh, Dad, I just need to get a train back from university. Oh, yeah, okay, Oh, Dad, can I have some money to go to the cinema? Oh, yeah, okay, I hadn't factored that in. Oh, actually, I want to go out with my mates. Can I have... Oh, God, And I'd factored in a small allowance. So it comes down to Muggins here who kind of has to pay. And I know my kids are watching. I love you, dears, but, things are a bit more tighter now. Anyway, there you go. So interesting times. As I said, I've written to my old company to say, look, am I getting a P45? Am I getting a breakdown of what that payment is and consists of and what tax was paid on it and how it was made up, etc., and all of that. So hopefully I'll have a response next week. If we do, I'll let you know. But there you go. I just wanted to kind of fill you in a few kind of little things that have been happening. And also a massive, massive thank you to everybody who's been responding to my videos, who've subscribed to my videos. It's been really, really encouraging. And I look forward to doing loads more videos. And again, I hope you enjoyed this video as well. If you did, then please hit the likes because I like it. YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content just like this. And if you're new to my channel and you've stumbled on this sort of random rant and wonder what it's all about, then do me the great honor, please hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell, and I'll be very grateful. But most importantly, check out these videos, which will hopefully make sense of what this whole rant is all about. And you too can join the gang on this exciting ride. Thanks for listening. Cheers.